available, entitled Mobile Technologies for Rapid Event Recording and Analysis. I'm Alison, and I have Terry here today also.
Good afternoon.
And we're going to tell you a little bit about the challenge itself and the benefits to you of being involved. Okay, so this challenge was developed by two regions from Europe. The first region was our region, the North East of England, and our partners here are the North East Automotive Alliance, which is a cluster group for the automotive supply chain in the North East of England. And our partner in Stuttgart, CARS, which is the Clusterinitiative Automotive Region, Stuttgart from the city region of Germany, the Stuttgart region of Germany. So those two cluster organisations designed this challenge to bring to you today. So if you're an SME or a company and you'd like to get involved in this challenge, in this open call, we've highlighted here on the slide some advantages of you being involved, and you can see them there on the screen. However, just to clarify, this is an opportunity for you to win €5,000 in innovation vouchers to kickstart a cross-border collaborative project with another European partner. So one of the stipulations of the project is that you will work with another partner from another country. And we have advisors to help identify partners, which we'll talk to you about in a little while. The programme also gives you access to open innovation expertise and matchmaking services through a variety of platforms, but also some expert advice on how to manage your open innovation projects, and this can be handled through the Open Innovation 2.0 Lab. It's also an opportunity to open up dialogue with large manufacturers, and this is a really key benefit to anyone who gets involved. And for example, in our region in the northeast of England, we have a whole range of manufacturers, one of whom is Nissan, the car manufacturer, one of whom is Komatsu, who also operate in the automotive industry. So it's a great opportunity to get involved with some larger manufacturers, certainly in our region and in the wider world. And a brilliant opportunity to work with a partner from another country. So just to hand over to Terry, we're going to give you a little bit of information about the challenge itself, and then I'll come back to you in a little while to explain the timescales involved in the project.
Thanks, Alison. So as you probably know, the manufacturing in the automotive sector is a very fast-moving environment, and one of the key issues is making sure everything works perfectly first time. There are no stoppages because of errors. There is nothing that holds up the production line. And so what companies in the sector are looking for is something that would allow those operators on the shop floor to record any such defects in a very quick, simple, timely manner, and in a way that means that that information and data can be recorded and shared and analysed. And so some of the examples of the situations where this solution would be used is when they're introducing new parts to the production line, or when they're changing a process on the production line, or if there are issues that crop up and they're trying to understand why those issues have arisen, or because perhaps there's a particular issue around quality and there are particular things that they're wanting to look at. And the reason that the manufacturers are looking for a mobile solution to this problem is that they're looking for something, as I said, that will enable them to capture the data very quickly and simply, ensuring that the data that's captured is accurate data, that the data is recorded in such a way that they know when it happened and where it happened, and also in a way that means that it happens very quickly, so that it doesn't require the person entering the data to spend too much time away from their main job, which is assembling cars. So currently, the method they use to do this is simply using a paper-based system. So the production supervisor might create a simple table which asks for the operator to record every time something happens. So they would record perhaps the number of the VIN number of the car that it happened on, the date and time, what the fault was. They'll record that. That is then passed to the supervisor at the end of the shift, who then takes that information and copies it to the whatever system they're using. Now, there are issues with this because it's a piece of paper which is easily damaged, easily lost, stood upon. The operator has to write the information onto the chart. They might not have very good handwriting. There might be smudges. There might be all sorts of things might go wrong, and also they are having to stand holding a piece of paper and a pen to write that information on. So there are all sorts of issues or reasons why this is not a very good system, but it is essentially the system that they currently have. So what they're looking for is something that enables them to get away from a paper-based system and to use a digital system. So they're looking for proposals and designs for a digital solution that can run on mobile devices and that allows two things really. First of all, the production supervisor to create a customized log, a concern sheet, if you will, that captures the information that they're looking for, which can then be sort of locked down and given to the operator on the production line to record the information as it is observed. So that's a summary of the solution that they're looking for. There are certain requirements. So they're looking for something that has really two formats. One is where it's a sort of a question and answer. So has this particular thing happened, but also something that can record the number of occurrences when something happens. So, for instance, the number of times that a screw is situated in the wrong hole, or the number of times that a panel is scratched. And then, as I said earlier, the idea is that once the shift ends, that information can be uploaded to the main storage system where it can be analysed and collated for future use. So here are just some examples of the kind of thing that it might look like, although these are very much just a guide to give you an idea of what they're looking for. So the first example is where they're looking for a quality check on a particular part. So it might be that the information they're looking for is that, yes, the part is fine, no, it needs some modification, or no, it is completely no good and needs to be scrapped. And as you see on the right-hand side, at the end of the shift, that would collate that information and display it in a chart or a spreadsheet, or whatever is appropriate. The second type of example that they're looking for is something that would record defects. So this is more of they're looking for a kind of an open text option, if you like, so that when a defect does occur, they can record the part that is defective and then enter a short description of what the problem is. And again, that would then export that information in a chart at the end of the shift. And then perhaps a third example would be something a little bit more involved, where they're looking for something that records different levels of fault. So the first page or the first screen might ask for which model type the fault is with. Then it goes down to the next screen, which might ask them which section of the car, and then what type of fault. So in the example you can see there, it's an issue with the paint, and then it might ask what type of issue with the paint is it. So is it a scratch, dent, orange peel? And for each of those options, there would be a variety of further options that can be selected. And again, that information would then be recorded and exported to the production supervisor. Now, there are some things that need to be considered. First of all, the factory environment is a very busy, fast-moving environment where the key thing is that there is no downtime, and that includes for the operator as much as for the product being produced. So anything that takes the operator away from their main task is not a good thing. So that really does need to be minimized. The second point is that workers in the environment, it is a factory, so they're wearing safety equipment, they're wearing gloves, goggles, ear defenders, and that does need to be taken into account in terms of how they are being asked to input the information. And it doesn't necessarily have to be using their fingers onto a screen. If there are other ways the information can be inputted, that is certainly worth considering. The third point to consider is that there is a very wide range of IT skills among the operators, so you really shouldn't assume that they are particularly skilled at using mobile devices. And of course, the personnel on the production line could be from any country in the world, so English isn't necessarily going to be their first language. And then the fourth point is that Wi-Fi coverage isn't necessarily available at all times during the in the factory. So something that collates the information on the device and then can be uploaded when there is a connection would be, well, more than an advantage. That would be a requirement. And there are a couple of sort of boundary conditions to this, if you like. So the first one that they're not really looking for is something that is integrated into existing systems. That is very much something that they would look at doing after the project is complete. And in terms of IP, the IP would be retained by the company, but depending on which of the manufacturers wants to use it and acquire it, that is perhaps a discussion that could be had at the appropriate time. And then I'll just hand back to Alison, who will take you through the timeline for the challenge.
Okay, hi. So just to summarise, this is the challenge timeline, and the challenge deadline is approaching, and it's the 24th of April 2019. So we're just under a month away from the challenge deadline, so still lots of time to get applications in. After that happens, there'll be an assessment panel that will sit to evaluate the applications that come into the programme. The assessment panel is made up from experts from the Stuttgart region and also from our region in the northeast of England, and there'll be manufacturing experts who are working in the automotive industry currently. So they've got expertise to look at this as to how the solution can operate in real time in their factories. After that, we will ensure that everyone who has been selected as part of the voucher scheme has either got a partner or is seeking a partner. And certainly if companies don't already have a partner in place, that's certainly something we can help with through our Invite programme partners and also through our other partners such as the Enterprise Europe Network. Between this April and August in the summer period, that's when some work will occur to develop the proposal with more detail to provide work towards a solution. And then at the end of August, that would be the end of the projects where vouchers would be awarded and projects will be reviewed. So that's where we're at. So that's kind of summarises the challenge. However, there will be opportunity for questions at the end. So we'll now hand over to our colleague, Tom, who is going to take you through the actual application and assessment process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alison and Terry, for your clear explanation. Now I will share my screen to show you how you should apply when you're interested in this open call. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what should I do if I'm interested in solving this challenge? So first of all, you'll have to go to our webpage, which is www.oi2lab.com. And to be able to see all content, you'll have to register first by clicking this blue connect button at the top right, as you can see at the top right over here. When you click that button, this window will appear. If you are registered, then you can just log in by using your email address and your password. If you're not, you'll first have to sign up by clicking this link, the sign up here link, and this will redirect you to the next form. Here we are asking you to fill in your email address, a password, your first and last name, and at the end you'll also have to agree with the terms and conditions. If you want to learn more about them, you can just click on the terms and conditions link again, and it will redirect you to that document. Once you've done this, and you have hit the sign up button, you will get a confirmation via email, and now you can go back to the original web page of the OI2 lab. You can click on the connect button again, fill in your credentials, connect, and what you will see then is on the top left over here, you can see the opportunity tab. Over there, you can find more information about our challenge. Once you're on this page, you can see that we have several sections in the opportunities tab, which are showing content like the requests and the offers that we have, the open calls that we are running at the moment, and also the competitions which are currently open. The open call that we're presenting here today can be found under the tab Open Call, which is obvious. When you click on this, the following will appear. So here you can see a table which contains the title of the different open calls that are open at that specific moment. As you can see, we launched our first open call on 24th of January, and it's still open for 1 other month, a little bit less. So if you want to submit something, you'll have to do that on the 24th before 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Central European time. Now, by clicking the title of the open call, you will be redirected to the summary page. And on this page, we are showing you, first of all, the timeline again. So what Alison already showed you before. What the open call is about, and why you should consider of participating in this challenge and in this open call. Now, in addition to, let's say, the summary, what I showed you before, we also have several documents that are describing in more detail what the challenge is about, what you'll need to do when you want to participate, what your proposal or application needs to contain, and how and by who the proposals will be evaluated. Once you've downloaded the documents and you've read the detailed call description and you're convinced that you might have a solution for us, you can start with downloading and writing your proposal. So downloading the template and writing your proposal. Now, I want to respond. What should I do? So in short, first of all, start with downloading the application form template. We advise you to use this to prepare your proposal offline. Once you think you're ready, you can submit your proposal by means of the electronic response form that we have provided on the open call webpage. After the deadline has passed, and you receive, you'll receive a notification once that your proposal is being selected or not. Now, how does this template look like? So first of all, the template contains information about the proposal guidelines. It tells you that there is a maximum amount of 5 pages that your proposal should contain. It has to be written in a certain font, also with a certain size. So all these things are mentioned in the instructions. And then you'll see that the proposal itself or template itself is consisting out of 3 sections. The first section is about the solution description, in which you describe, or you're going to describe your proposed solution, how it fits into the preset requirements, what TRL is, and what makes your solution innovative. Then the second part is about the expected impact. What do you think is, or can you describe the added value of your proposal? Can it be used in different industries, perhaps, besides the automotive industry? And then in the third part, we are asking you to describe the team who's behind this. What are you expecting from this project? And what kind of do you have some kind of a working plan? How are you going to approach this in the next months? Again, what I would like to highlight is that the maximum pages is 5, but it doesn't have to be that long. So if you can be very concise, very brief, and you are mentioning all these aspects, that's perfectly fine. If you would like to add some additional information, we prefer you to record a 3-minute video, a maximum 3 minutes long-lasting video, and then upload it together with your proposal. Now, once you've prepared your proposal and perhaps your video offline, and you're ready to submit, you should go back to the open call page, as you can see over here with this link, and there will be this blue Apply Through F6S button. This will redirect you to the electronic submission page, as you can see on the left-hand side. And by connecting with LinkedIn or adding your email address, you'll be able to access this response form. Now, this is the first page, what you'll see then. If you click, then at that moment, you'll have to click on It's Just Me who's going to submit a proposal. And by doing that, again, the guidelines will appear, and also the boxes where you can fill in the different sections of your proposal. You can just copy and paste them in on this page, as you can see here. Once you've done that, you have to click on the Connect with OI2 Lab 2018 button, and that will submit your proposal and will send it to us. When it's before the deadline, you'll receive again a confirmation. Otherwise, it will just shut down and the link won't be available anymore. If you're not receiving an email when you have submitted it before the deadline, it could be that this email is in your spam folder, so please first check that. If there's still no confirmation email, you can always contact me by this email address, so opencall@oi2lab.com, so opencall@oi2lab.com, and I will double check if we received your proposal. Once we've collected all the proposals, a 5-headed jury will start with evaluating the different proposals, and this jury consists, like mentioned before, out of 2 experts from our regional agencies. Then we have 1 member of the advisory board and 2 experts from the North East Automotive Alliance. And they will all review your proposals by using the evaluation form. And the 20 highest ranked proposals will be selected as the winners, and they will get and will be awarded with the innovation vouchers. Now, why should you participate? First of all, the winning proposals will be shared with the North East Automotive Alliance. Just to give you an idea, Nissan, Caterpillar, and Komatsu are part of this alliance. So I think that's a good incentive and a good motivation to participate. In addition to that, the proposals will also be shared with the Clusterinitiative from the automotive region in Stuttgart. Then you've also have the 5,000 euro vouchers, which you'll need to spend during the course of the project. In addition to that, we will assist you and give you free access to all the digital tools offered by the OI2 Lab, and you'll get personal assistance by an open innovation advisor and also by an account manager. Now, what can be financed by these vouchers, by these 5,000 euros? Well, first of all, you can only use them for purchasing a service or a product from another company that will help you with the development of your submitted proposal. Typically, these services can be consulting services, feasibility studies, a workshop, assistance with software or hardware development, and perhaps even a piece of technology that you are still lacking. So all these things can be purchased with the voucher. When it comes to travel costs, it can only be 20% of the total amount, which makes 1,000 euros. Now, what kind of documents are we expecting from you? So first of all, it's the proposal. Once you're selected, we'll ask you to sign a sub-grant agreement together with one of our regional partners. And then by the end of August, we're requesting you to submit a final progress report. This report describes the activities that you've been carrying out in the past months, the details about the services that you've bought from an external company. We also want some information about, okay, what are now the final results of this project? What did you learn? And we also like you to write a short summary so that we can publish this on the invite and also on the OI2 Lab webpage. Then, once you've submitted the progress report and the invite consortium has approved this, we will transfer the money to you. This will be done as a lump sum payment by one of our local partners again, which are NELAP, RTC North, WRS, and SAS. Now, what are important dates for you to remember? So first of all, the deadline is important. So you've got less than 1 month to submit your proposal on the 24th of April. Then by the 15th of May, we will announce the winners. You'll be informed if you won one of the vouchers, and it will also be publicly available and publicly announced on our webpage. And then by the end of August, you'll have to submit your report, and the money will be transferred to the winner's bank accounts. I think now we should be ready to go to the Q&A part. So if you have any questions at this moment, please enter them into the chat box, and we will try to answer questions as precise as possible. Thank you very much.
Hi guys, it's Alison again with the Q&A session. We've been receiving some questions through the system, so I've selected a few, which I'll just read out and try and answer for you now. And then Tom's going to help out in a little while. The first question that I've received, it says, could I find my own cross-border partner, or will I be assigned a one by a partner? The answer to that is yes, you can find your own partner, and certainly I'm already working with companies in the northeast of England who have found their own partners in other countries. However, if you don't have a partner, don't worry. We've got people who can help you find those partners. As I said earlier, you know, we can link with our partners through the Enterprise Europe Network. We can also use the our colleagues in the Invite program who have got multiple connections across Europe. So the answer to that question is yes, you can find your own, but if you can't, don't worry, and we will help you out. So that was the first question. The second question that is here, it says, if I already have a solution that fits the challenge, a mobile solution that fits the challenge, but it's already on the market, could that be something that is submitted as part of the call document. And I guess the answer to that is what we'd need to see within that solution is any adaptations that you would need to make for it to fit the manufacturing challenge that we've outlined, and providing you can demonstrate that there is some innovation within that, certainly that would be considered by the panel also. Another question we have here is, am I obliged to continue with the cross-border collaboration after the end of August, after the project completion date? The answer to that is no, there's no obligation from the programme for you to do that. However, you know, if you have developed some good relations there, it's something maybe you would pursue yourself. But certainly from the Invite programme, there is no obligation for you to continue that collaboration beyond the end of the project deadline in August. I've got Terry here who's also got another question, so he is going to come in with that one now.
Thanks, Alison. So someone else has asked what if the development cost is greater than the what is available through the innovation voucher, so it's greater than €5,000. The partners or the applicants can spend more than that if they wish, but the €5,000 is the maximum that is available. So essentially, if you spend more than that during the project because you're keen to make sure that your solution is a good one, then that's absolutely fine. But when you do make your claim at the end of the project, it still will be for a maximum of €5,000. And then there's another question about IP, about who owns the IP. So as the applicant, does the IP belong to you, or do you have to share it with your partner? Really, that's a decision for you and your partner. And I guess it would depend on how much they are bringing to the project. So if you are relying on your partner for some innovative development work, then perhaps it would only be right that the IP was shared with them. If what you're asking them to do is something a lot more straightforward, translating the solution into multiple languages where there isn't anything particularly innovative, then perhaps in that case it wouldn't really be right to do that. So it's really for you and your partner to discuss between you. So hopefully that's answered the questions that have come in. So I'll now come back to Tom.
I think there's another question here about I'm an entrepreneur. Could I also participate in the call? Indeed, you can. Excuse me?
Sorry, Tom, I was just about to answer the question, but you're doing a perfectly good job, so I'll leave it to you.
So indeed, if you are an entrepreneur, you can also participate, but we are mainly, at this moment, mainly focusing on SMEs. But if you're an entrepreneur and you have a perfect proposal for us, then please submit your proposal before the 24th of April. I'm seeing here another one. Who should I contact if I need help with preparing my proposal? So I'm always available. My email address is opencall@oi2lab.com. So you can always send me your questions if something is not completely clear, and I will try to answer questions as soon as possible. Let me see. So there's another question. What do you mean with mobile solutions? Are you just looking for apps? So perhaps that's one question you could answer, Terry, or try to answer.
Yes, thanks, Tom. I suppose I would imagine that most of the solutions that come in will be app-based, but it's by no means restricted to that. So a mobile solution can be, well, a solution that's mobile, a digital solution that's mobile. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an app. Hopefully that helps answer the question. I mean, really, it's if someone feels that they have a solution that solves the problem, then probably the best thing to do is to submit it, and then the judges will decide. We probably have an idea of what we're looking for, but we're hoping to be surprised, if you like, by the variety of innovations that are submitted. So I would suggest, if you're not sure, to submit it, and then we'll take a look at it and decide.
And there's another question. If I have several apps that meet the needs of the challenge, could I participate separately with each? So indeed, that's possible. So you can submit multiple proposals, but you can only win with one. So the highest ranked proposals will only receive the voucher. So you're not going to get, or you're not allowed to win multiple vouchers in this case. So the highest ranked will be awarded and with the voucher. Let me see if we're getting other questions too.
Hi guys, it's Ivana Zokli from Germany. We had another question regarding accessing the webinar or the link to the recorded webinar. So we will upload it on the webpage of the open call, and we will also send it to all of you, to all participants of the webinar, so that you can review it again, and you can also forward it to some other colleagues or other possible candidates. Tom, you can go to another question.
Not sure if there are any others.
Okay. Okay, so if there are no other questions, then that's it. No? So we hope that you got important information and that you will apply for the call, and we are looking forward to hearing from you. And also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll be happy to help you, to support you, and to guide you through the whole process.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.